Hello, and thank you for joining us for this week's edition of It's Your City. I'm your host, Cortney Bloomer. Today's episode is brought to you by Darla Sews. Would you like to learn how to sew? Well, contact Darla Sews for expert sewing lessons to teach you how to use your sewing machine or construct simple garments. Today's guest for the show is Lisa Lee. She's the Executive Director of Advocates to End Domestic Violence here in Carson City. Welcome, Lisa.
Hi, thank you.
Advocates is a long-time installation here in Carson City doing fantastic work in our community, and you guys have a really big important event coming up.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit
We
about...
have our 24th, can you believe it, 24th Taste of Downtown. And it's going to be on July 22nd, and we're just really excited because we're going to have 39 restaurants, 6 bands, trolley going back and forth. So we kind of take over downtown and make it into a big street party, and it's kind of the place to go if you haven't seen old friends or old neighbors or people you lost in contact with during the PTA or soccer. And, you start running into them on the corner, and also new people that you'd like to get to know.
It's a fantastic social event. It has grown and grown and grown. 39 restaurants this year. Like you mentioned, there are a lot of new restaurants in Carson City that are going to step up and participate.
Yeah, we're excited.
Go around. What are you most excited about for this year's event?
There's several restaurants that really go out of their way. And then there's also shops and businesses. And we have a Hacienda Market that is new. And it's a Hispanic grocery store with an eatery inside. And they're really talking about going wild and doing something. And of course, we're all excited about the Union and also Battleborn, having 2 new restaurants downtown. And then you have the fixture that's, the Fox. They always go out of their way and do something really kind of fun. So it's going to be, then last year's winner, the Blue Cafe, they won for their bread pudding. And so
I remember the bread pudding.
The bread pudding was
good.
And sometimes people are not a bread pudding person, like, it's bread and cream. And then everybody was telling me on the street, did you try that bread pudding? I'm like, no, I'm putting out little fires over here. But
every year, I think there are a couple of restaurants that you maybe haven't tried before,
yes.
or that you haven't had a chance to visit, and you find them at Taste of Downtown, and then you're like, I have to start going there.
It was like LA Bakery. It was, in an odd little spot. Maybe you didn't go to very often, you didn't think of. And then you tasted what they had, and you went, oh, so the next time you're thinking of lunch, you're going, where was that place?
Right. I met them at the Taste of Downtown.
And that's when we originally did this, Carson City downtown was really, I had a staffer who said, oh, I want to take you to lunch. You've got to come in. And I found out it was in a bar. And it said it was in what's the poorhouse now. And I was like, I'm not going into a bar. Come on, it's lunch. I can't be seen going into a bar at lunch. She drugged me in there, and there was a great, purple artichoke was in there. And so we were like, okay. And it was gorgeous. I thought there should be people coming down here to see this. There's a couple really great little spots. I grew up in Carson. I had avoided downtown like the plague, like probably most people, because it was, really had fallen on some hard times. And so from that, that was 24 years ago. And now, last year, we were kind of a little worried about all the construction.
It was a construction zone last year, and that made it a little bit of a challenge.
And this year it's going to be like the opening. It's going to be like the curtain. Everybody has been driving through and commenting, and now they're going to get out of their cars and they're going to walk and say, wow, I'm glad they widened the sidewalks. Yes, this looks cool. Look at this. This is great. I had forgotten about this. Oh, I didn't even know this little shop existed.
Right.
Kaleidoscope. You might see their sign as you drive by, but this gives you an excuse to walk in and see what they have.
And actually see what's in some of these shops and some of the great little places that have moved into some of the spaces that are downtown.
Well,
and the taste isn't just limited to downtown. It goes further south than that.
Well, we go all the way down to Reds, and then probably a little over 50% of the restaurants that are coming in are not downtown. I'd say probably 2/3 are not downtown. There are other restaurants throughout town that come in. And I think if we want to really support our downtown, if we really want to have a cute and wonderful, thriving downtown, we have to support those businesses, and we have to make sure that we do get out of our car and we do go into them. We do go into Two Sisters, and we do find things for that baby shower or that, housewarming gift that you want, that we do support them so that they're here next year.
That's right. Now, 39 restaurants. That's a lot of food.
It's a lot of food. You have to pace yourself.
What strategies do you have for people for going through the taste?
My staff always laughs because on the back of the ticket, I always say, comfortable shoes. And they're like, people know this. I'm like, no, they don't. I see people in high heels. I see people in shoes that I would not consider comfortable. There's, we have 13 city blocks you can walk. So I always say, wear a hat, get your sunscreen on, bring your water, and wear comfortable shoes and park where you want to end. So, at the end of your day, you don't want to have to get back 13 blocks to your car. So kind of plan this out. Also take a look at that ticket and say, and we ask you to start, we give you a spot where we want to start, but you have to look at it strategically and say, I'm not going to eat at all these restaurants. And so I know a lot of people, men always go for the beef and the women kind of go for the lighter things. And so that's how people look at it and say, okay, well, you can have that artichoke and I'm going to have, that hamburger or the pizza or the ribs or something like that. So I would look at it and kind of pace myself a little bit. I would not eat all day long so that you really get down there.
Get really hungry.
Well, you gotta have an appetite. Then
you know what? Every year I still make myself almost sick.
Oh, well.
Eating way too much food.
Well, and it's hard because it kind of creeps up on you. You say, oh, it was just a small little thing. We had 40 small little things together and you had a big platter of food.
A lot of food. And there are some places that even if you only went to that place, it's still almost like
some places do, they really go out of their way. But it's smart for them. It's a marketing tool because you do want to see what they have and you want to say, hang on, they really did something I want to come back for and really come in. And this year we're going to do something different. Total Wines and More came to us and said, hey, we'd like to participate. So we said, how about if we do a separate ticket and we're going to be inside the Adams Hub, and for another $5 on your ticket, you can go and do, they're going to be sampling 5 wines that are 2 ounces a piece. And so they're going to have quite a variety of wines. So we're kind of excited about that. That was kind of something a little different to do this year.
Yeah, that'll be a new development that'll make it really fun.
Every year it's different. There's something different. So,
all right. I want to ask you, while you're here, Advocates has some other projects that are going on.
Oh, yeah.
Besides the Taste of Downtown, you guys are building a brand new store.
We are building Classy Seconds. We have been in the same location for the last 20 years in a little hidden spot off of Hot Springs Road, which has done really well for us. So originally we rented the spot just so we'd have a place to put our overflow of donations. So our clients would have a place with electricity because we were in kind of an abandoned building at first. And so they could have a place to go to. And then we thought, well, we might as well, if we're paying rent and we're paying utilities, let's open it up. And we really have grown. And so now it's exciting because we're going to have a campus. We were able to get enough land, so we will put our offices there one day and our shelter one day. So right now, if you drive by on Highway 50, it's kind of...
There is a skeleton of a building up there now. They started, I saw when I drove past on some of the interior walls are going up.
You do pay attention.
I have to drive past it every day.
It's one of those things because you look at plans and you sit there with an architect and engineer and builders and you look at it and it looks like, oh, okay, that looks fine. Okay, it kind of has the things I asked for. And then the walls go up and you're going, that's really big. And they had originally said, it'll be 27 feet tall. I'm like, oh, okay, 27 feet. And then I stood there, I'm like, that's 3 floors, right? And they said, well, you said you wanted to be seen from the highway. And I was like, yeah, I was worried you wouldn't see it. Now I'm like, oh my gosh. So we've ordered our sign and we're getting all excited. And
what is the timetable? When's the new store going to open?
What my timetable was unrealistic, as the builder tried to explain to me, and I did not believe him. And so we look like we're going to open up, probably hope to have our certificate of occupancy in September and open beginning of October, which is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So it's going to be great. We're going to have a couple of separate open houses and, for our supporters and for our neighbors and things like that. And, get our donors to know where we're going to move to and show them that, we're going to keep the same values going as we've had before.
Well, we'll have to bring you back on in October to talk about the new, hopefully open store.
We'll get you to come and do a tour on the inside.
All right. Well, I will be there anyway.
Poor Darla will have to walk around with her camera and say, see, look at this. Doesn't it look tall?
Now, the old store is still going to be open until the new store opens as well, so people can still come and support you guys during this transition time.
Yes, they can. And we've been so fortunate because from donors to shoppers, people are very generous with what they give. And luckily, we're a country of hoarders. So we shop a lot and we have My husband will tell you I have more shoes than I need, and he is wrong.
I don't know that that's a thing.
I think he's totally wrong. I think that there is never enough shoes. And then at the end of summer, I'll look at them and say, why do I have this many shoes? I'm never going to wear those again, and I'll donate them. And then in spring, I'll say, I don't have enough summer shoes.
We get new ones every year, and the prices are so reasonable. You can
you
just go
look
and
at
pick
it
up
and
new
say,
ones.
I just need this pair, and I don't have any silver sparkly ones. And what was I thinking? Not to have blue sandals. How can I exist? What if I need blue sandals? And he will tell me, I have 3 pairs of shoes. I'm like, and you're a man.
Completely different
Let
circumstances.
me know when you need silver sparkly shoes, honey.
We'll get you a pair. We'll make it happen.
I'll happily go shopping with you.
All right, Lisa, tell us really quick before we go, where can people get tickets for the Taste?
Well, you can either get them online, which is www.Taste of Downtown Carson, or you can go to the Chamber, which everybody knows where the Chamber is. You can go to Purple Avocado, or you can stop by our thrift store at 411 Hot Springs Road. And if you're not sure, you can give us a call at 883-7654, and we'll help you figure out, or we'll sell them to you over the phone right there, and then we'll have them for you at will call. We only have 2,000 tickets. So, and we always try and have a little bit left for that day. So if we do have any left over, they'll be at our information booth right there at City Hall.
All right, Taste of Downtown, July 22nd, supporting the Advocates to End Domestic Violence. Lisa Lee, thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and thanks to all of you for joining us for this week's edition of It's Your City, brought to you by Darla Sews. Contact Darla Sews so that you too can be a person who sews. Darla Sews at the address shown on your screen. Thank you for joining us for this week's edition of It's Your City. I'm your host, Courtney Bloomer. We'll see you next week.